again crawls across our world.
It's just a great time, I think, for role-playing games. And now you're even seeing like the good design principles of role-playing games being carried over, to most other action games. And I can't. It's almost hard to find a game that doesn't have some kind of leveling up in it now, and character customization, things like that. So it's great to see how the RPG genre has not only come back, but really become a driving force in the industry.
And the stench of terror drifts on a bitter wind.
I think one of the big differences is people actually like them now. Back when, especially when the original Diablo came out, it was really a dead time for role-playing games, and now we see so many role-playing games and so many different kinds. You will never find harsher critics than Blizzard developers. They are the most detail-oriented people ever. And when we first showed this art style, they were ecstatic. They loved it.
This place is thick with the stench of ghouls.
Even though I know it's our own game, but I actually probably look at World of Warcraft for influence more than anything else. It's a game I really like, and it's probably my favorite RPG. I also really like City of Heroes a lot. It's one of my favorite games. But I think we take little things from other stuff. Mass Effect is probably one that I know a lot of the guys around the studio really like, and I enjoyed.
There's nothing better than bashing monsters with your friends, so it's high time we brought one in. This is the Witch Doctor.
The average game size on Battle.net in Diablo 2 games is 1.2 players, which basically means almost everyone is playing games by themselves. And one of the main reasons for that is, why would you want to play with somebody else? They can go hostile at any time and kill you, mostly in an exploitive way. It's not like it's any kind of fair fight. You'll probably be dead before you even know they actually went hostile.
Yeah, right.
There's a good chance that they'll steal all your loot, so you won't get anything good. And it just makes the game a little bit harder too, so why would you want to play that way? So on our side, we really focus on changing a lot of those things.
Now this is starting to look like a party. You'll be able to form groups like this quickly and easily over Battle.net.
For us, our core game mechanics actually come out of single play.
Okay.
But what we've done along the way is we've always had cooperative play enabled. So people play cooperatively all the time. And anytime anything doesn't work for cooperative play, we fix it right away. Because people talk about Diablo 2 and they say, oh, in Diablo 2, like, loot just flies from the heavens and just, giant piles. But if you actually look at the number of drops in the game versus a lot of other games, I'll use World of Warcraft as an example because it's one that a lot of people would know.
Yeah.
Diablo 2 drops way less loot than World of Warcraft. Sometimes when people are making a clone of Diablo, one of the mistakes they make is to go, well, the rewards in Diablo 2 are so good that the way to improve that is just to even more loot.
Yes.
But the reactions, if you don't get that number right, is people get loot weary, where they, things hit the ground, and it's like, 20 magic items hit the ground, and you're like, whatever. Like, it's just like, I know there's not going to be anything there for me to use because, it's all kind of the same.
This is the Witch Doctor, a brand new class you'll be able to play in Diablo 3. The Witch Doctor hails from the jungle region of Taganzi and uses ancient tribal magic that gives him control over disease, allows him to summon pets to do his bidding, and even control the minds of his enemies. Now that we've
for me, it would be the character classes, and I know that's kind of an odd feature, but one of the things that was, I think, a hallmark of Diablo 2, one of the things that made it one of my favorite games was that the character classes were extremely archetypal. They were the kind of characters that everybody instantly wanted to play, and they were very powerful, very visceral, very satisfying. Just running through the world, hitting stuff with an axe felt really good. And so when we started Diablo 3, it was one of our main goals was not only to match Diablo 2 on that front, but actually surpass it. Barbarian is the only returning class. Originally, we actually planned to have no returning classes, but as we developed the Barbarian, we essentially kind of ended up turning him into a Barbarian. And at some point, we kind of went, I think we actually had a different name for him originally, and we kind of went, I think we're going to call it this other name, and everyone else is just going to call it the Barbarian. So maybe we should just call it Barbarian.
You can't tell us what.
Everybody was very happy that the Barbarian was there, and all the Necromancer players hate us.
Right.
I understand that. I don't begrudge them that. I would hate me too. Yeah. It came from the team that they didn't want to redo other classes. So really, one of my jobs as lead designer is not only to help kind of steer everyone towards those choices, but make sure that the whole team is excited about the choices that we make. So, and sometimes that means, we have to look at some things and go, you know what? Maybe this could be awesome. Maybe, the Necromancer could be a great character for Diablo 3. But if no one on the team's interested in making him, he's not going to be great. He's going to be mediocre. I think players will find that there's a good class for them that they will love just as much as the classes that came before. And if they don't, I absolutely promise that in the expansions we will consider bringing back more classes.
Cool. You've seen walls of fire, ice, and bone, but have you ever seen a wall of zombies?
Design's job to make sure that the best ideas get into the game. And that's kind of the difference. I think a lot of people want to get into game design as a job because they think, man, I just sit around all day and come up with ideas. And it's like, no, you can sit around all day and have all your ideas torn down. And that's a lot more painful. Yeah. We actually prefer a really long window before we release a game is because we want a lot of feedback. Like, we want to hear what people like and don't like about it. We want to give them several opportunities to play it before we release. The key is to use that feedback and not fight it, because eventually the whole world's going to have it. It's when it's done.
When it's done, okay. But would you say it's fair to say, obviously, that that there's a while to go?
I would not speculate on that in any way, shape, or form
Okay.
when it's done.